A common mistake made in the field is to simply grab whatever shackle or fitting you have on hand to perform your next lift. Time is of the essence, we get that. Every second counts, so you make do with what you have. The danger in that is using products in an unintended way, and this was long the story for hooks and shackles when used with synthetic slings. The shackles or hooks were not sized correctly to allow for proper D over D ratio or to avoid sling bunching. So what is the D over D ratio? Think about it as a relationship and diameter between the sling that you're using and the hardware that you're using with it. For example, a 1-inch wire rope sling bending around a tight 5/8 or 3/4 inch shackle is not a good thing. It's going to introduce premature failure for the sling because the radius that it's bending on is too tight. So Crosby and other manufacturers recognized this problem long ago and began to produce fittings specifically designed for safe use and maximum efficiency when lifting with synthetic slings. So in this video, we'll talk about these products, how they're commonly used, and which one might be right for your next lift. So first up, let's talk about the AMH round sling hooks. Frankly, we love these hooks, and our customers do too, because if you're rigging with common round slings like purple, green, yellow, or red, these hooks really eliminate the guesswork. They're color-coded for strength. So if you have a purple sling, you get a purple hook, a green sling, green hook, etc. And they're really easy to install. Couldn't it be easier? In fact, let me show you. Simply take the hook, slide it over the sling, close the latch, rotate the hook, and the sling will sit up inside of this wide channel, allowing for full surface area contact. So the sling is not bunched, it's not being pinched, and we know that this color of hook is perfect for this color of sling. So Crosby really went a step further and built out a complete Sling Saver product line. They offer hooks, shackles, and other items all specifically designed for use with synthetics. Two popular items are the S252 and the S253. These are for use with round slings or web slings. They connect to pad eyes, eye bolts, or lifting lugs. The S252 shackle features a safety bolt and nut with a cotter key, while the S253 has a screw pin that threads quickly and easily for fast installation or removal. So think of the S252 as a semi-permanent or permanent installation, and the S253 as your pick and place application. They're both available in sizes from 3¼ ton all the way up to 50 tons. Another shackle featured here on the table is the S281. This one's really designed more for web slings. However, you can use it with round slings. Between this and the 253, there are more sizes available in the 253, and there are some small dimensional differences. Now, one really cool product that Crosby makes is the S280, and Crosby calls this a web connector. But for us, we really think of it as more of a shackle because that's pretty much the functionality of it. Use it with web slings or round slings to connect to master links, rings, or even Crosby eye hooks such as the 320. So the S280 actually features a plastic spool which sits on the inside. This is where the sling actually makes contact. The increased radius of the spool gives a wider sling bearing surface area, which results in increased load distribution, allowing for better performance out of your sling. Thought it would be helpful to actually put an S280 web connector together with a flat eye sling, so let me show you what that looks like. So you're going to start by putting the spool on the inside, and you can see that this 2-inch sling sits neatly inside of the spool. So there's no play left or right, you get full load distribution and surface area contact. Then I'm going to take my plastic cover, which is really just for the elements. I'm going to put that over it. I'm going to slip this inside. I'm going to take this pin, which is functionally a bolt, which is threaded. And it's going to thread into the far side of the housing once I have it lined up. And it's going to protrude out the other side far enough that I can install this nut, which is like essentially a nylock nut. And then you'll want to tighten that down with a wrench. So obviously this isn't something that you'll be able to take on and off easily in the field, not using your fingers. A lock nut like this is going to go on really tight. So this is really made to kind of live on this sling. This becomes your dedicated pick point. And with that type of load distribution and protection from the elements, this sling is going to last a long time, much longer than if you were hooking directly into the eye using a typical hook or shackle. Another Sling Saver product is the S287, which is a specialty hook designed specifically for choking applications. So the design of the hook helps to prevent binding and bunching when choking, which is demonstrated right here. So you can see this webbing slips in and out easily, but when it's inside the hook and you're going around a large object, the webbing is laying nice and flat on the inside of the hook. This hook only comes in 2 sizes. This is the larger of the 2 sizes. Another popular option are the CM web sling shackles. Now, they're not quite as tailored as the Crosby product line, where there's hooks and shackles and spools and different devices, but they're really useful. They have a nice wide throat opening, and there's really two options. So you have the alloy version, which is retained with a nut and a linchpin, and then you have the carbon version, which is retained only with a linchpin. I'm gonna throw one of these on real quick just to show you what they look like. So the installation is pretty simple. Pull the pin, insert the sling, put the linchpin back in, close it up, and that's your finished product. So what you can see with this is that the sling actually occupies probably 60, maybe 2/3, 60%, 75% of the actual width. And that's important because you don't want to have like a Type 4 sling with the tapered eye sitting on one side of the pin. So ideally you distribute the load evenly between the ears. So the carbon version comes in capacities from 8,000 up to 23,500 pounds, and the alloy version comes in higher capacities starting at 13,500 pounds up to 22,500. So something you want to avoid with a wide body, wide throat sling shackle like this is point loading. So let's demonstrate what that looks like. So again, we're just going to pull the linchpin out, remove the nut. Again, this is the alloy version of CM's web sling shackles. We're going to slip this sling into place. Linchpin is reinstalled. This is a Type 4 sling, so you have a tapered and twisted eye. Under load, you could have a load centered with your top hook, but on the bottom, you could have the sling all the way off to one side. So now you're gonna get uneven loading of the sling and the shackle. So you wanna make sure that you avoid that. You want everything to be centered, so using a Type 4 sling on a web sling shackle like this, you might actually wanna use spacers. You could use washers or something else if you want to be creative, but keep the sling as centered as possible. So that's as deep as we're going to go in this video. There are more products to cover for sure, but hopefully you're at least aware at this point that specialty fittings do exist so that you can safely rig with synthetic slings. This video might not have answered all your questions, so please reach out to us if we can help you further. You can reach us via live chat at lifting.com, or visit the Contact Us page and fill out the form, or locate a branch nearest you. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like this video, leave a comment, and share the video. Help us grow the channel so we can keep putting out informative content like this in the future.